We'll do it live. Okay. No, we'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. 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 Do it live. Fuck it. Fuck it. Do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Do it live. Do it live. Fuck it. Fuck it. Do it live. Go. Fucking thing, someone do it live. Fuck it. I've never seen that. Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. Fuck. Do it live. Do it live. Do it live. Fuck it. Go.
There are known knowns. There are things we know that we know. There are known unknowns. That is to say, there are things that we now know we don't know. But there are also unknown unknowns. There are things we do not know we don't know. This platform is not.
Because, you know, it is just wonderful to be back in Oregon, and over the last 15 months we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. One left to go. Alaska and Hawaii I was not allowed to go to, even though I really...
The Villages, America's friendliest hometown. The Villages, America's friendliest hometown. The Villages.
Hard struggle, particularly given the situation on the Iraq-Pakistan border. And I would not announce that I'm going to attack Pakistan, as Senator Obama did.
This is people in Tripoli in the center. I think it's Green Square, Green Martyr Square, call it. Literally, I suppose still Green Square, but...
The last picture is clearly not Tripoli. There's all...
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards away from where the World Trade Center towers were. And it seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened during this morning's attack. We'll probably find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds.
Presumably there were very few people in the Salomon building when it collapsed. I mean, there were, I suppose, fears of possible further collapses around the area.
That's what you would hope, because this whole downtown area behind me has been completely sealed off and evacuated, apart from the emergency workers. That was done by the mayor, Rudy Giuliani, much earlier today, because of, course, the dreadful collapse of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. But New York, very much a city still in chaos. The phones are not working properly.
Jane, I think many of us, when we heard the news, perhaps on the radio earlier today, were completely flabbergasted by it and just couldn't comprehend it. I mean, it almost sounded too far-fetched. I was wondering what it's felt like for you being in Manhattan. Well, unfortunately, I think we've lost the line with Jane Stanley.
The Federal Reserve, in collaboration with the giant banks, has created the greatest financial crisis the world has ever seen. The foolish notion that unlimited amounts of money and credit created out of thin air can provide sustained economic growth has delivered this crisis to us. Instead of economic growth and stable prices, it has given us a system of government and finance that now threatens the world financial and political institutions. Real unemployment is now 20%, and there has not been any economic growth since the onset of the crisis in the year 2000, according to non-government statistics. Pyramiding debt and credit expansion over the past 38 years has come to an abrupt end, as predicted by free market economists. Pursuing the same policy of excessive spending, debt expansion, and monetary inflation can only compound the problems and prevent the required corrections. Doubling the money supply didn't work, quadrupling it won't work either. The problem of debt must be addressed. Expanding debt when it was a principal cause of the crisis is foolhardy. Excessive government and private debt is a consequence of loose Federal Reserve monetary policy. Once a debt crisis hit, the solution must be paying it off or liquidating it. We are doing neither. Net U.S. debt is now 372% of GDP. In the crisis of the 1930s, it peaked at 301%. Household debt services require 14% of disposable income at a historic high. Between 2000 and 2007, credit debt expanded 5 times as fast as GDP. With no restraint on spending and revenues dropping due to the weak economy, raising taxes will be poison to the economy. Buying up the bad debt of privileged institutions and dumping worthless assets on the American people is morally wrong and economically futile. Monetizing government debt, as the Fed is currently doing, is destined to do great harm. In the past 12 months, the national debt has risen over $2 trillion. Future entitlement obligations are now reaching $100 trillion. U.S. foreign indebtedness is $6 trillion. Foreign purchase of U.S. securities in May were $7.4 billion, down from a monthly peak of $95 billion in 2006. The fact that the Fed had to buy $38 billion worth of government securities last week indicates that it will continue its complicity with Congress to monetize the rapidly expanding deficit. The policy is used to pay for the socialization of America and for the maintenance of an unwise American foreign policy and to make up for the diminished appetite of foreigners for our debt. Since the attack on the dollar will continue, I would suggest that the problems we have faced so far are nothing compared to what it will be like when the world not only rejects our debt, but our dollar as well. That's when we'll witness political turmoil, which will be to no one's benefit.
The problem is Ron Paul is talking way over these people's heads. The level of stupidity of the typical congressman is astounding. It doesn't matter if it's charming charlatan like Obama or your hee-haw airhead like Palin that people are supporting just like for their team, and it doesn't matter if it's for Democrats or Republicans. These people are morons.